She gave everything she had to stay with Doris up that hill, and it cost her in the last 400, but what a fight.
The freshman nobody expected just destroyed a 40-year record. The favorite collapsed in the final 800 meters, and one runner pulled off the most explosive finish in NCAA history. What happened at the 2025 Cross Country Championships left everyone speechless. This is the race that changed everything. The 2025 NCAA Cross Country Championships just wrapped up, and we need to talk about what went down. Hundreds of the best college runners in the world showed up ready to battle, but Mother Nature had other plans. Heavy fog rolled in, the grass was soaking wet, times would be slower than normal, but that didn't stop these athletes from putting on one of the most dramatic shows in championship history. 2 races, 2 completely different outcomes, and moments that nobody saw coming. Let's start with the women's 6K. All eyes were on Jane Hingren from BYU. This true freshman was being called the greatest freshman talent in NCAA history. She was trying to do something that hadn't been done in 40 years. Win the national title as a true freshman, her last regional race. She destroyed the competition by over 40 seconds. She looked unbeatable. But standing in her way was Doris Limbaggo from Alabama, an experienced runner who wasn't about to let some freshman take her crown. We also had Hilda Olamoy from Florida ready to make noise. The stage was set for an epic showdown. The gun went off and the women exploded out of the gates. The first kilometer, 2 minutes and 59 seconds. That's a pace of 4 minutes 49 seconds per mile. In wet, foggy conditions, these women were flying. And who was leading the charge? Jane Hingren, the freshman phenom. Right beside her was Doris Limbaggo, matching her stride for stride. This was Jane's signature move. She dominated races by going out hard and breaking everyone early. By the 2-kilometer mark, they clocked 6 minutes and 7 seconds. Still under 5-minute mile pace. The field was getting shredded behind them. At the halfway point, 3 runners broke away from the entire field. Doris Limbaggo, Rosemary Longiza, and Jane Hingren. Their 3K split was 9 minutes 13 seconds. Championship record pace was on the table. But then, just past the 3K mark, both Limbaggo and Hingren dropped Longiza. Now it was a straight-up 2-person war. Jane was the young gun who excelled in longer distances. Limbaggo was the veteran who had been here before. By 4K, they had opened up nearly 50 meters on everyone else. Their split, 12 minutes, 20 seconds. That's 4 minutes, 57 seconds per mile pace. Their projected finish time was 18 minutes, 30 seconds for the full 6K. This was turning into an absolute battle. Here's where it got interesting. Limbaggo kept pushing hard, trying to break the freshman, but Jane wouldn't crack. Then Jane would surge to the side, trying to drop the veteran. But Limbaggo hung on. Back and forth they went. At the 5K mark, Limbaggo finally started to pull away. Just a few meters at first. But Jane was still right there. Their 5K split was 15 minutes 24 seconds. Remember, the course was soaking wet. Running that fast in those conditions was absolutely insane. The final 800 meters would decide everything. Who had more left in the tank? With 800 meters to go, Limbaggo made her move. She surged hard and opened up 10 to 15 meters on Jane. The freshman was hurting. Limbaggo kept pushing and pushing and pushing. She crossed the line in 18 minutes 25 seconds, one of the fastest 6K times in championship history. In wet conditions, Jane Hingren held on for second place in 18:38, still an incredible performance for a freshman. Third place went to Hilda Olamoy from Florida in 18:46, but the team competition had its own drama. NC State pulled off the upset victory with 114 points. Former NC State champion Caitlin Toole was right at the finish line, calculating the scores live for her team. When the win was confirmed, the Wolfpack broke down in tears. Now let's talk about the men's 10K.
Haptum Samuel, finally a national champ. 2-2-1.
The favorite was Haptum Samuel from New Mexico. He had been on fire all season. He won the Nutty Comb Invite and dominated his regional race. But he had a history of coming up short when it mattered most. He finished second at last year's Nationals, second place multiple times throughout the season. This was his redemption tour. But Rocky Hansen from Wake Forest and Brian Mazzao from Oklahoma State weren't going to make it easy. Just like the women, the men went out blazing fast. The first kilometer saw Tavon Kitchen and Rocky Hansen hit the front in 2 minutes 43 seconds. That's 4:22 per mile pace. The field spread out over 100 meters in just the opening kilometer, and leading the charge was Tavon Kitchen, a true freshman, just like Jane Hingren on the women's side. He was fearless, pushing the pace from the front. By the third kilometer, they hit 8:39. The pace had slowed a bit, but they were still moving fast. The pack was much tighter than the women's race, though. All the big names were bunched together up front. Brian Mazzao from Oklahoma State was there. Haptum Samuel from New Mexico was lurking. Gary Martin was in position. Tavon Kitchen kept leading. At the 5K mark, they clocked 14 minutes 25 seconds. That projected to a 28:50 finish time. Nobody had made a move yet. Everyone was waiting, watching. Rocky Hansen looked smooth and controlled. By 8K, the time was 23:11. Oklahoma State runners were leading in their bright orange singlets. Their team score was already looking strong. Rocky Hansen and Haptum Samuel were still right there. The tension was building. Something big was about to happen. With 1 mile to go, everyone was wondering the same thing. Who makes the first move? Would it be Gary Martin with his blazing speed? Rocky Hansen, the smooth favorite? Or Brian Mazzao from the dominant Oklahoma State team? The answer shocked everyone. Haptum Samuel from New Mexico absolutely exploded. It wasn't a gradual surge, it was a violent, aggressive attack. He gapped the field immediately. His face showed pure determination. This was his moment. Only Brian Mazzao and Rocky Hansen could even attempt to follow. From 8K to 9K, Samuel ran a 2:38 split. That might be one of the fastest single kilometers in NCAA cross country history. He destroyed everyone. The field was suffering behind him. Samuel was gliding effortlessly while everyone else was dying. With half a mile left, Rocky Hansen was digging deep, pushing with everything he had. But it wasn't enough. Samuel had made the perfect move at the perfect time. He cruised to the finish in 28 minutes 33 seconds. With 50 meters to go, he started celebrating. This win was everything to him. After all those second-place finishes, he finally got his championship. Rocky Hansen finished second in 28 minutes and 38 seconds. Salomon Kipog from Washington State took third. It was a true 10K masterclass from Samuel. On the team side, Oklahoma State dominated with 57 points. The 2025 NCAA Cross Country Championships delivered everything we hoped for. A freshman phenom falling just short of history, a veteran champion proving experience matters, and a redemption story that gave us one of the most explosive finishes ever witnessed. Wet conditions, foggy weather, none of it mattered. These athletes showed up and performed at the highest level. Oklahoma State and NC State walked away with team titles. But the individual performances are what we'll remember forever. This championship shocked everyone. What was your favorite moment? Drop a comment below, and I'll see you in the next one.
This year's biggest snub was obviously Melissa Jefferson Wooden.
Melissa Jefferson Wooden just said something that everyone needed to hear. Imagine winning 3 gold medals at the biggest track meet in the world, and then people act like it never happened. That's what happened to her, and she's finally talking about it. In September 2025 in Tokyo, Melissa did something only one other woman in history has ever done. She won the 100 meters, the 200 meters, and ran the opening leg for the 4x100 meter relay team. All 3 events, all 3 gold medals. The only other person to ever do this at a world championship was the legendary Shelly Ann Fraser-Price from Jamaica. Melissa became the first American woman to ever achieve this. Her 100-meter time was 10.61 seconds. That's a world championship record. She didn't just win, she destroyed the competition, crossing the finish line 0.14 seconds ahead of the silver medalist.
And they're away, first time. Great start for Melissa Jefferson Wooden. Jefferson Wooden into her running in the middle of the field, but she's got company. Clayton going well to her side, but Melissa Jefferson Wooden streaks away in the closing stages.
In the 200 meters, she ran 21.68 seconds, which was the fastest time in the world that year. Then she helped her team win gold in the relay.
Jefferson Wooden is floating here. Amy Hunt trying to get in the mix. But look at this from Jefferson Wooden. She's absolutely flying in the night sky of Tokyo. 21.69.
But here's where things get interesting. After all of that, Melissa wasn't even chosen as a finalist for the World Athletics Athlete of the Year award, the award that's supposed to recognize the best female track athlete of the season. In October, World Athletics announced 5 nominees. There was Melissa, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, Femke Bol, Faith Kipyegon, and Beatrice Chebet, all incredible athletes who had amazing seasons. But when they narrowed it down to just 2 finalists in November, Melissa's name wasn't on the list. Instead, it was Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone and Femke Bol. Now, both Sydney and Femke had great seasons. Sydney switched from hurdles to the flat 400 meters and won gold at the World Championships with a time of 47.78 seconds. That's the fastest women's 400 meters in 40 years. Femke defended her world title in the 400-meter hurdles and won with a time of 51.54 seconds. These are both worthy achievements. But here's the thing. Neither of them won 3 gold medals. Neither of them did something only one other woman in history has done. Melissa went undefeated in 20 out of 22 races in 2025. She owns more than half of the year's top 10 fastest times in her events. Those are numbers that don't lie. The voting system for this award is complicated. Fans get 25% of the vote through social media likes and shares. The World Athletics Council controls 50%, and something called the World Athletics Family controls the other 25%. So even though fans showed massive support for athletes like Faith Kipyegon, who got 48,000 votes, and Beatrice Chebet, who got 31,000 votes, they still didn't make the final cut. Melissa got eliminated early because of low fan votes. But when you look at what she accomplished on the track, it doesn't make sense. After the announcement, people went wild on social media. Track fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. Olympic champion Masai Russell commented on World Athletics' Instagram post with just 2 words. "No Melissa?" She wasn't the only one confused. Jonathan Galt from Let'sRun.com said choosing Athlete of the Year over Melissa Jefferson Wooden and Beatrice Chebet was legitimately insane. For weeks, Melissa stayed quiet. She didn't say anything publicly about being left off the list. But recently, she sat down with the Track and Field Network and finally shared how she really felt.
Okay, let's see. Part of me was mad.
She didn't hold back. She called the decision,
Kind of felt like a slap in the face to all the work that I put in this year to be able to do what I went out there and did.
Think about that for a second. You work your entire life for something. You achieve a historic feat. And then the people who are supposed to recognize greatness just ignore you. That would hurt anyone. Melissa kept going.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing I said. I was like, what else was I supposed to do? I don't know.
It's a fair question. What more could she have done? Win 4 gold medals? Run faster than humanly possible? She was already at the top of her game. But here's what makes Melissa different. This isn't the first time she's been overlooked.
I've been getting overlooked in my career for so long now. It's just like, I don't want to say that I'm used to it, but in a sense, it's just kind of like, okay, cool, fine, whatever. I guess I'll have to try harder next time.
That's resilience. That's the mindset of a champion. Instead of giving up or complaining endlessly, she's using it as fuel. But she also made it clear that respect matters to her.
Awards. I like to be respected, but never, you know. You can keep it, actually. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm chilling.
She's basically saying she doesn't need their award to validate what she accomplished. She knows what she did. The world knows what she did. And no award committee can take that away from her. Then came the part that really caught everyone's attention. Melissa talked about what she learned from this season. The biggest lesson I got from this year is learning that if you lock in and dial in on things you say you want to achieve, but also put the hard work in on top of that, the sky is the limit. This is the announcement everyone needs to hear. Melissa isn't satisfied. She's not done. Even after winning 3 gold medals, even after making history, she wants more. When she talked to CNN Sports, she said she's not satisfied with what she's accomplished. There are so many things out there that I've accomplished this year, but there's so many more things that I do want to accomplish. So what's next for Melissa? She's got her eyes on the world record. The women's 100-meter world record is 10.49 seconds, set by Florence Griffith Joyner back in 1988. That's 37 years ago. Melissa is only 0.12 seconds away from that record. She's close, really close, but she's not going to chase the time. She explained, "The biggest thing for me, if I want to break the world record and become the world record holder, it's not going to be chasing the time. It's going to be doing very similar to what I did this year, and that is just focusing on me, focusing on my execution, listening to my coaches, and then surrounding myself with people who are going to get me where I need to be. That's a smart approach. Don't worry about the clock. Just focus on running the perfect race and the time will come." Beyond the world record, Melissa has the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics in her sights. Imagine this, winning Olympic gold on home soil in front of American fans in Los Angeles. That would be legendary. She'd join a very small group of women who have won both World Championship gold and Olympic gold, and doing it at home would make it even more special. Melissa said, "I'm excited for LA. I think it's going to be one for the books. Obviously, we have that already when we go to these World Championships and to other countries to compete, but there is nothing like doing it at home, in front of the home crowd. That just makes it that much more special." The bottom line is this. Melissa Jefferson Wooden just announced to the world that she's not done. The snub didn't break her. It motivated her. She's coming for the world record. She's coming for Olympic gold. And she's doing it her way, with focus, hard work, and the support of people who believe in her. The sky is the limit. And Melissa is just getting started.
Simca now just goes gently through the gears. It's looking as though she's pulling away from Anning. The Czechs have come through so strongly for bronze, but gold! The very last gold of these championships!
Just when everyone thought they had Femke Bol figured out, she went ahead and changed everything. The Dutch superstar who's been dominating track and field just announced a major switch that nobody saw coming. Let me take you back to January 2025. Bol hopped on Instagram with some news that caught everyone off guard. She said she wouldn't be racing individually during the indoor season. That's right. The woman who set the world indoor 400-meter record wasn't going to defend her title. In her post, Bol explained her thinking. She wrote, "After the last Olympic cycle with years full of amazing competitions indoor and outdoors, we've decided to do it a bit different this year. I'm training hard and preparing myself for another successful year on the track, but I also felt that I needed a bit more time away from competing." Now, if you're wondering who Femke Bol is, let me catch you up. This 24-year-old from the Netherlands is one of the biggest names in track and field right now. At the Paris Olympics in 2024, she walked away with 3 medals. She got gold in the mixed relay, silver in the women's relay, and bronze in the 400-meter hurdles. But Paris wasn't her first time on the Olympic podium. Back at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, she also won bronze in the 400-meter hurdles. And get this, at the World Indoor Championships, she ran the 400 meters in just 49.17 seconds. That's the fastest time ever run indoors by any woman. So when someone like that says they're skipping races, people pay attention. Bol made it clear she wanted time to process everything that happened and focus on things outside of sports that mattered to her. She said, "It gives me the opportunity to have some more time processing everything that has happened and prioritize more things outside of the sports that are important to me." But here's the thing. Bol wasn't going to miss everything. There was one event she absolutely had to do. The European Indoor Championships were happening in March, right in her home country. The city of Apeldoorn was hosting, and Bol couldn't resist. She wrote, "However, I cannot and do not want to miss a chance to compete at a home championship." She said she'd be racing in the relays at Apeldoorn, and lucky for her, it was the first time the mixed relay would be part of the European Indoor Championships. Now, this home championship meant something really special to Bol. Almost 10 years earlier, when she was just 16 years old, she was at the 2016 European Athletics Championships in Amsterdam. But she wasn't competing. She was working as a volunteer, scanning tickets at the entrance. Back then, Bol had just finished 4th at the Dutch Under-18 Championships. She was watching the athletes and dreaming about maybe one day competing at that level. She remembered watching one race where the crowd went absolutely crazy. The noise, the energy, everything about it stuck with her. Fast forward to 2025, and now she was the one the crowds came to see. When someone asked her what she'd tell her 16-year-old self, Bowles said with a big smile, "Pinch me. I wouldn't have dared to dream to be able to do this and to get this amazing feeling." The European Indoor Championships started on March 6, 2025. The very first gold medal of the entire event was the mixed relay.